It turns out that our satellite, the Moon, moves away from us every year by about 4 centimeters. This depends on decreasing the planet's rotation period by 2 milliseconds per day. 40 new stars are born every year in our galaxy alone. It is hard to even imagine how many of them appear in the entire universe. The universe has no boundaries. Everyone seems to be familiar with this statement. In fact, not a single person knows whether the cosmos is infinite or just gigantic. A black hole is the brightest object in the entire universe. Inside a black hole, the gravitational force is so great that even light cannot escape from it. Logically, the hole should not be visible in the sky at all. However, during the rotation of the hole, except for space bodies absorb in gas clouds, which begin to glow, twisting in a spiral. Also, meteors falling into black holes light up from the incredibly sharp and fast movement. Our solar system is awfully boring. If you think about our neighbors, they are all unremarkable balls of gas and lumps of rock. We're separated from the nearest star by multiple light voids. In between, other systems are full of all sorts of amazing stuff. In the vastness of the universe, there's a really amazing thing, a giant gas bubble. It's about 200 million light years long, and it's 12 billion light years away from us. This interesting thing formed just 2 billion years after the Big Bang. The Sun is about 110 times bigger than the Earth. It's even bigger than the giant of our system, Jupiter. But when you compare it to the other stars in the universe, it's the size of a kindergarten nursery. That's how small it is. Now, let's imagine a star that's 1,500 times bigger than our Sun. Even if we take the entire solar system, it wouldn't take up more than a pixel of this star. This giant is VY Big Dog, which has a diameter of about 3x billion kilometers. How and why this star was blown up to such dimensions, no one knows. Science fiction authors have fantasized about 5 different types of planets. It turns out that there are hundreds of times more of these types. Scientists have already discovered about 700 types of planets. One of them is a diamond planet, and in every sense of the word. As you know, carbon needs very little to turn into a diamond in this case. The conditions coincided so that one of the planets solidified and turned into a jewel on a universal scale. The light of our sun, which we see every day, is about 30,000 years old. The energy we receive from this celestial luminary was formed in the core of the sun about 30,000 years ago. That is how long and not less time is needed for photons to make their way from the center to the surface. But after the liberation, they need only 8 minutes to reach the surface of the Earth. We're flying through space at about 530 kilometers per second. Inside the galaxy, the planet moves at a speed of about 230 kilometers per second. The Milky Way itself flies in space at a speed of 300 kilometers per second. About 10 tons of space dust falls on our heads every day. There are over 100 billion galaxies in the entire universe. There is a chance that we are not alone. Every day, about 200,000 meteorites fall on our planet. Saturn's average density of matter is half that of water. This means that if you put this planet into a glass of water, it will float on the surface. You can only test this, of course, if you can find an appropriate beaker. The sun is thinning by 1 billion kilograms per second. This is due to the solar wind, a stream of particles that move from the surface of this star in different directions. If we wanted to get by car to the nearest star after the sun, Proxima Centauri, we, at a speed of 96 kilometers per hour, would need about 50 million years. Even on the moon, there are earthquakes, which are referred to as lunar tremors. Still, they are negligible in comparison to earthquakes. There are more than 3,000 such lunar tremors each year, but this combined energy would only be enough for a small fireworks display. The strongest magnet in the entire universe is considered to be a neutron star. Its magnetic field is millions of billions of times larger than that of our planet. It turns out that there is a body in our solar system that resembles our planet. It's called Titan, and it's a satellite of the planet Saturn. It also has arms, seas, volcanoes, and a dense atmosphere, just like our planet. Surprisingly, even the distance between Titan and Saturn is equal to the distance between us and the Sun, and even the weight ratio of these celestials is equal to that of the Earth and the Sun. Still, intelligent life on Titan is not even worth looking for, because its bodies of water have failed. they consist mainly of propane and methane. But still, if the latest discovery is confirmed, it could be argued that there are primitive life forms on Titan. Under the surface of Titan, there is an ocean that consists of 90% water. The remaining 10% may be complex hydrocarbons. It is hypothesized that it is this 10% that may give rise to the simplest bacteria. If the Earth revolved around the Sun in the opposite direction, the year would be 2 days shorter. The duration of a total lunar eclipse is 104 minutes, while the duration of a total solar eclipse is no more than 7.5 minutes. Isaac Newton first outlined the physical laws governing artificial satellites in his groundbreaking work, Mathematical Beginnings of Natural Philosophy, published in the summer of 1687. It's fascinating to think about how these principles still guide our space exploration today. In a quirky twist, when the Americans spent over $1 million developing a pen that could write in space, the Russians simply used a pencil. No fancy technology needed, just a classic tool that works perfectly in weightlessness. And speaking of space, did you know it travels at an astonishing 2 million kilometers per second? That's mind-boggling. We're also influenced by the Great Attractor, a colossal gravitational force that pulls galaxies towards it, surrounded by a massive swirl of stars. The universe is full of surprises, and these discoveries remind us just how much we have yet to learn.